I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. I also have some bookmarks here for the magazine Iodine Portrait Journal. And I'll set them right there beside this stuff if you're interested. They're free. I've got thousands of them. Please take a few. Yeah, I appreciate Scott letting me come up here. Earlier, I got here about maybe a little after 5 or so. And so I was just kind of knocking around. I was coming on the sidewalk. And I had seen his MySpace page, so I knew what he looked like. So I was about to go into another shop, and I thought, wait, it looks like this guy. So, yeah, and it was. So we had a good time just getting to know each other down here at the Tasteful. Anyway, I edit and publish Iodine Portrait Journal. This is the current issue. Just came out in the spring, and it's $7. If you're interested in that, I would be glad to sell you one. You can take a look at it before you buy it if you'd like. And I'll have those with me as well. And I also have copies of my book. This actually came out in the fall of 2006, Ukulele and Other Poems. So I'm going to read a few things from actually Scott mentioned that I had written 2 poems, but actually I've written 2 books, not 2 poems, a few more, but that's okay. I thought I would start out with this poem here. When we were talking at dinner about school and college in particular, and he asked me where I went to school, et cetera, and I said, well, actually I went to 4 colleges, and it took me 10 years to get my bachelor's degree. So he's denied me access to his son because he wants to just go to one. But at any rate, that's okay. You know, some people take longer than others. I went to FSU in Tallahassee, and this poem was kind of born out of that. This is called Poet with Cardboard Wings. He climbs the stairwell through echoes of his own steps and finds the unsecured roof hatch he noticed the day before. Emerging with cardboard wings fashioned from a large appliance box, he perches on a ledge 3 stories up, an expanse of bushes and grass below. A busy road lined with oaks draped in Spanish moss surround the clearing before him. Shouting poetry, he leaps, glides momentarily, then plummets to a cushion of boxwoods that pierce his body with freshly pruned branches that break his fall. His countenance unscathed, he soars to the moon and back as he lies broken and dazed, one wing labeled this side up. And several years ago, I had knee surgery, and so I was out of work for like 3 months, and I was in bed, and I had my leg in this thing that went like this. And so I did a lot of channel surfing at the time, and that's when I discovered the pet psychic. And I don't know if you've ever seen this lady, and I'm sure a few others, but I couldn't resist. So this poem is simply entitled Pet Psychic. She holds her hands above the urn on the table, like hands over a fire to warm them. The ashes of a dearly departed terrier speak to her from the grave. I am here doing fine. I love you. What a great master you were. There are others here I know. The gerbil who belonged to the little boy downstairs, the orange alley cat I used to bark at, that got run over by the garbage truck, the one we saw mangled by the curb on the way to the vet. Even the neighbor's parrot, that big green and yellow one you hated so much. I remember how you laughed at the droppings on that old lady's shoulder. There are other dogs here too. I've been talking with the ones that have been put down. They say it's like falling to sleep. It's a little kind of blurry at first, then you realize there are no people here, just other animals. And there's plenty of food and sunshine. Nobody bothers anybody else. I even saw a lion lying with a lamb. Don't worry about me. I have to go. Her client trembles, pulls several tissues from a box on her lap, pats her eyes gently, and wipes her nose, clearing her voice and softly thanking her for this glimpse from the other side. The pet psychic says, "You're welcome. I take cash and personal checks." Somebody asked me one time, well, what is it that makes you write poetry, or where do you get your ideas from? And a lot of times, and I think it's for other poets as well, it's you kind of observe people, you kind of watch people, and just people watching is just one of the most fun things to do. And so this poem is called Fred, and that's the guy's real name. So this is about Fred, a guy I actually wants to do. Fred's working the sidewalk. Spirit change? He rubs the tester's glue off his nostrils and the tiny balls that stick to his thumb and don't flick well from his nicotine-stained fingers he holds out for nickels and dimes. He won't steal. He's proud to pay for the glue with his handful of change. He carefully counts out to the cashier, who holds her breath when he approaches. Not wanting a bag, he clutches his receipt, tearing open the package with his teeth as he walks out the door that seems to magically open while he twists off the cap. In shadows behind the store, he squeezes glue into a threadbare rag and covers his nose and mouth like someone gasping for air in a smoke-filled room. He paints his smell with the odor of adolescence, a sweet, cheap high from airplanes and battleships he built in a room he now only dreams of. And I grew up in Fort Lauderdale, and so this is, you know, when you grow up in the southern Florida, you tend to grow up among a lot of retirees. So, and of course, a lot of them like to eat in cafeterias. And so this is called cafeteria. It became a Sunday thing after church, no matter how the kids complained. Tugging at our belts, straightening ties, we were escorted inside to the end of the line. Dad would say, "Stand up straight, decide what you want, and speak clearly to the ladies behind the counter. They can't read lips." Once they put it on that big plastic tray, they can't put it back. The place was usually filled with older people. After all, this was South Florida, land of blue hair. I once saw an old man fall from his chair and someone called an ambulance. I had seen people nearly choke before, but this was different. One of the staff tried to resuscitate him, but when the medics arrived, it was too late. They carried him out on a stretcher. We were up front near a window where I looked down and saw them pulling the sheet up over the man's face, inserting him like a piece of furniture into their vehicle. I suppose in the restaurant, they wanted to act like nothing's wrong, smiling gently at the patrons as they eased quickly through the crowd. I was told to stop staring, face the table, and eat my dessert.